July. And I'm asking him who's giving him competition. The usual politician. I don't think anybody's giving him competition and all of that. But just maybe Julius Kwame Anthony would also join us. It's quite late, but we'll start the conversation today. We started the conversation on the Office of the Special Prosecutor investigating into Galamsey last week. We also went all the way to Nigeria to talk about their democracy. But today we're continuing that conversation of the Office of the Special Prosecutor investigating into Galamsey and zeroing in into the invitation by the OSP to have Charles Bissiou and also, declaring him as a wanted man and the matters arising. We'll also delve a little deeper into Parliament's probes into suspected land guard killings in Botiano. And then if we have time, we'll talk about the take-or-pay energy contract and its matters arising. Are you okay, Clinton?
Yes, I am.
You sure?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Mr. Bafo?
Yes.
How's it going?
It's been good.
Which one is your first name? Which one is your middle name?
They've been in Bafo. So it's been in Clinton Bafo.
Okay.
But for political reasons, I do it being in Bafo Clinton. So that it fits BBC. That's how people know me in the space of student politics. So.
But the surname is Bafo.
Benin.
Yeah.
Okay. Benin. Okay. All right. Well, good to have you. I was asking you, since we moved there, this is your first time here?
Yes, this is my first time here. It's good to be here. I think the producers had been reaching out to me, but because of my campaign tour, I couldn't be available within the time frames they were given. Hence, I had to reschedule and keep rescheduling. So when they reached out this week, I was like, no, I have to be here because this is home and it's good to be back.
How's the campaign going?
It's been good. It's been smooth. The other hitches in terms of finances and delegates engagements are inevitable part of it, but so far it's been very progressive.
Delegate matters. It starts from the beginning
exactly,
all the way.
Exactly. Everyone has a request. Everyone needs to help, project support, and others, and it really takes much from you in terms of finances. But we are hoping that, given the nod, some of these things can be fixed.
It's not an interview for you, but what's really your ideology? One of them.
We are looking at how best to build the front of the National Union of Ghana Students in terms of resilience and how robust it can be, given the fact that we've had an outgoing executive done a lot. And almost any time I appear on your platform, I talk about Dennis Apialabi, who has really rebranded the image of Nooks. Hence, we need an individual who looks at how to incubate or inculcate whatever that he has done and also advance on it. So our vision is progressive, sustainable growth. How to progressively work on whatever that he has done, sustain it, and advance initiatives to bring growth.
Does it sound to you like Barbia? Does it, Godwin? Anyway, have you been following the Special Prosecutor and then the matters arising, the Professor Pomboating reports, him being, invited, and then the big one, Charles Bissiou? What's your general opinion?
Yeah, it's an interesting conversation to have. I think last week I watched the session of my brother Akins and Julius delve into that conversation. One of the major reasons why the Office of Special Prosecutor was needful or significant in this Nanado's administration was purposely, for me, I think it's because of the Galamsey. Because amongst all the corruptible activities that goes on within governance, the country and affecting the future that is the Galamsey activities. And then he has everything it takes to request for interrogation, prosecute them, and then also fish out the big wigs that are leading the charge of some of these activities. It comes to me as when no was on calling citizens or calling viewers to come to because he came up with a report. And I noticed that conversations around this interrogation started way back last year. Just that, essentially, that just when he is in the news, also supposedly he even thought that he would be invited to have to do something to up there. Being invited to be interrogated on a committee that you chaired is not outside the box for the special prosecutor to do. And then I say this because it's I think people should also be made to understand that these people that are being invited by the special prosecutor are allies of the ruling government. So it tells you how active and not redundant the office of special prosecutor has been. And I like it so much when people in power are being prosecuted with an office that was created by the people in power. At least it tells you the level of it tells you how ready the government is willing to fight against this act. So that on the other hand, if we pick people from the other side of the government in terms of opposition parties, people don't come running saying we're in government and you're chasing the others. So he's been invited. He just proceed and then proceed and give the information
whatever
they need on that. Yes, that of Charles Bisu. He was also a secretary, right? So. I read it and I noticed he's been invited for a lot of times and he's been excuses upon excuses upon excuses. And then when you keep on doing that, you undermine the powers of the special prosecutor. And just as nobody is above the law, what makes it difficult for you to attend to his requests to seek clarity on whatever that you have done? You were a secretary and you played an instrumental role. And these are not just mere conversations that we are having. These are conversations centered on seized excavators, some proceeds of things you took from the site, and other properties that you seize from people engaging in illegal mining. So in the event that we have issues with giving an account of it, Frimpong Manso happens to be a part and we need him, and yourself as a secretary, we also need you. It shouldn't be very difficult for you to go there and do it. When you keep doing that, we communicate a wrongful information to the citizens or people who are following the case, making it look like the special prosecutor might have special personal issues with people, but it doesn't fall outside.
Shall we situate the two?
Yes.
So, Professor Frimpong Boateng, who authored the report, was being invited. Now, he felt victimized because he wasn't granted a self-recognized bail, which suggests that he can bail himself out. So people said that for a man of such repute, you should allow the self-recognizance bail. Now, for Charles Bisu, I don't think that from the time that he's been invited, he's been shilly-shallying. I think that he had gotten to the point where he thinks that he's being abused, you know, because from when his matters around the Galamsey issue happened, whether he was corrupt or not, you know, the IGP had concluded on him, on the matter has been concluded legally, okay? But if you follow the stories in court, it suggests that his lawyers said that he was unwell. For this recent one, where the OSP had to issue him as a wanted man, if what the lawyer said is anything to go by, it suggests that there was a particular date that the OSP wanted to see him. Then Charles Bisu and his attorneys suggested that he would come at this set date. So there was a date of 22nd and then 25th. And then the OSP, if anything that we're reading is correct, also insisted that it has to be the date. So Charles Bisu now had to invoke the Human Rights Court, which is the High Court, that my fundamental human rights are being infringed upon, that I'm invited, because I'm just a suspect. You're inviting me. I said, I'm going to show up. I'm going to show up at this particular time. But you insist on a particular time, then makes me a target. It makes me feel that for the beginning, my going and coming out of this Galamsey, I feel like a target. If Charles Bisu also says that he feels victimized, would you?
No.
You will not accept it.
You see, we must not make it very difficult for the Office of Special Prosecutor to demand accountability for corruptible acts, supposedly. Whatever that he's doing hasn't been drawn as a conclusion as to whether they are corrupt or they are not. As part of the processes, it is very important that you appear before him to give clarity on some of the questions that needs answers to. If what I read is equally right as yours, and then it's been a fourth and back for about 3 or 4 occasions before the proposed date of the 22nd. Future doesn't work in your favorable time, as and when you would want to visit him, that you'd go. He's giving you the benefit of the doubt for the first, second time, giving an excuse that you cannot come. And the third time, intermittently, he was equally processing petitions to conclude the issue that he's already been cleared and what have you. But this is a special interrogation that needs to be done by a special team that has been set up. So he shouldn't feel victimized. It's part of the processes. And then he is a key stakeholder that is needed.
Absolutely. What I want to understand is, what as inviting a person to give account on something, because I'm not charged. I'm not charged yet. I'm being invited to come and give an account on something, clarity, whatever it is. I'm just been invited. How then do I become a wanted man?
So it's alleged. You know, there is a report. This whole issue is being dragged through the report from Tiger IPI on matters of galamsey. So. Also,
he's not even invited based on him being the secretary to the interministerial.
No. All those things are part, but most importantly, it centers on that documentary, that part 1 documentary on galamsey that came out. And for a number of times, you have rejected. And he has gotten warrant from the court to get your arrest, and you're still resisting. So sometimes we make the work difficult.
No, I don't think that the special prosecutor got a warrant from the court, because in exercising his duties, he can prosecute.
Yes.
So he has that special, so he doesn't have to get a
but the arrest from the document I read, he has an approval from the court to.
Is it because Charles Bisu petitioned the court to not allow the OSP to examine him to?
You see, so if it is based on the Tiger PI investigation, the galamsey, which has been cleared, then he can go all out. Last wire to say that I would restrain you because I've been cleared.
Yeah.
If you're inviting me for further, it's up to me to want to decide to want to come. But if he's being invited as the secretary to the interministerial, on the capacity as what the Professor Frimpong Boateng was invited, then that is different. Then that way it is an invitation. Then I start to understand why he would then become a wanted man. This is where the clarity needs to be set aside. So, but the court actually granted the injunction.
Yes. If what I read was true from the, I wish I could quote it verbatim.
Yeah, the court did, and what I'm fascinated by was the fact that the OSP came back to announce to the public that do not be deceived,
this man is
thinking that if the court has granted an interim, I don't know whether it's an interim, but I know that is an injunction, that we cannot go after him as a wanted man. Do not be deceived, because the OSP in exercising his duties, it's police duties, can arrest you.
Mandated by law.
Yes.
So everything that the office of the special prosecutor is doing is trying to give so much reference, power, and superiority to the office that he holds. And whatever that he's doing within this short period of stay in office is to serve as a deterrent to anybody who is a big whip in this illegal mining. So he's assuming the office in his full capacity to clear the doubt that he's young and he might not be able to go after them and what have you. His appointment came with a lot of mind thoughts of people take years thinking that he wouldn't be able. He wants to live up to expectation. And from where I sit, from where I sit, I believe it's right. Just not to allow people undermine, because that office is an office that has been specially set up. At a point, people feel that if cases go to the judicial system or cases go to the police custody, one way or the other, their confidence of people are a bit low in terms of believing whatever that comes out from it. But his office is trying to make it look like anytime I have a case, trust me.
I see to the last one.
Exactly. So credibility is what he's trying to establish for the office, so that whoever that takes over from him in his absence would come to meet an office that carries that level of superiority and respect. That when you're called on, you don't sit in your comfort zone, as rightly said, and state that because I've been cleared, I don't think I should come.
I think that fundamental, Gordon, I think that human rights, because if we say that, yes, we want to revere your office, we want to revere your position, and so I'm sleeping in the comfort of my home, you can invite me without any cause. I don't know if